because many of us feel weighted down like an ox by all kinds of burdens. When Jesus' first century hearers first heard these words, they would have felt weighted down by things like, will I have enough money to feed my family? They were living in a poor farming-based economy. Parents would have been concerned about the well-being of their children in a world where most newborns did not live to see their 20th birthday. We also have concerns about our finances and about the well-being of our family and loved ones. But today, we have the burden of wondering whether we are achieving enough, whether we are enough. People in the first century would not have felt this burden as keenly because they were living in a world where their station in life was largely determined by the family they were born into and their social circumstances. We live in a time and place where we can climb educational, professional, and social ladders. That's a great thing. But what if in this world we don't become really successful, or the people that we or others projected we would become? We can feel like a failure. And so if you've ever felt the burden of needing to achieve so that you feel like you are enough, this invitation is for you. Jesus says to you, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. How so? By placing my yoke upon you. Some of you are saying, if I want to rest, I don't need a yoke. I need a hammock, or I need a massage, or I need an all-expense-paid vacation to Hawaii. But Jesus says, no. If you want to experience my rest in your body and in your soul, take my yoke upon you. Why? Because he knows that we are wearing the wrong yokes. Yokes that don't fit us very well. Yokes that chafe against the back of our neck. And some of the heaviest yokes that we wear are the yokes of people's expectations. And maybe the heaviest yoke of all is the yoke of our own self-expectation. As I said earlier, I know about that. When I was younger, I felt the pressure to achieve in sports and in school. And then I felt the pressure to achieve in the world of work. When I was single, I even felt the pressure to boost my sagging self-esteem by being with the right romantic partner. And Jesus says, if you're wearing a heavy yoke, the heavy yoke of your own self-expectations or the expectations of someone else, take that heavy yoke off of your shoulders and wear my yoke. So what is Jesus' yoke? It's not really clear in the verse what yoke means. And so if a word in the Bible isn't clear, one of the best ways to figure out its meaning is to look at it in its context. And so if you scroll back 4 or 5 verses, you see that Jesus is celebrating the wonder of his Father in heaven's love for him. He's just basking in that. He says, I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, for revealing your truth, not so much to the best and the brightest, but to children and to those who approach you with the humility of a child. And Jesus here is just exulting in the wonder of his Father's love for him. Darrell Johnson, a New Testament scholar and pastor, points out that the yoke Jesus wants us to wear is the yoke that he himself wore. And the yoke that Jesus wore was the yoke of his perfect Father's unique love for him. And the yoke that Jesus wants you to wear is the yoke of your perfect Father's unique love for you. And when you wear the yoke of your Father's love for you, as simple as this sounds, it will change the way.